Hi everybody and welcome back to Kevin's Upfront Opinion today. So, came across this article which was in Ground News. If you never read Ground News, really good publication to read because it gives you, no matter what your side of the politics you look at, whether you're left, right, centre, whatever, tells you what all the papers are doing on different stories. And sometimes stories you will not get in the mainstream media. Now, this is an interesting one where it says the Shadow Chancellor is to pledge further cuts to foreign aid as Tories vow to stand up for fiscal responsibility. So that's the headline. And it goes on to say the Shadow Chancellor, Sir Mousestripe, we'll call him Mal for now, will propose cuts to foreign aid, welfare and civil service to save the UK 47 billion. The plan includes barring foreign nationals from claiming benefits, potentially affecting 500,000 claimants. Our good old-fashioned Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, going a bit on her woke way, indicated that politicians often lie about ambitions for leadership positions. Should we have a little talk about the Labour Party? Should we do that one today? Let's have a look, see if we can find anything. Let's do a quick fact check. Is there anything Labour lied about? Like, for instance, did they promise we will not increase national insurance for getting into power? They made a big lie there, because no matter what way you want to spin that, what did they do within, what was it, 3 months, whenever they had their budget? What's the first thing they did? Hiked up national insurance. Now they're going to say, yeah, but we didn't do it on the general public, we did it on the business side. Well, unfortunately, and for somebody who's worked in business quite a lot through their life, if you go in hike costs up for the business, guess what happens? It gets passed on, because at the end of the day, they can't recruit as many people. So you lied. You said you weren't going to do it, and you went and did it. So Shabana, shut up. Don't say anything. You'll make yourself look stupid. And Tory leader Kemi Badenoch acknowledged that the party has a mountain to climb to address physical issues, emphasising accountability in spending. So, this is the real nuts of the question at the end of the day. Is Mousestride correct in making these statements by saying, right, we're going to cut massively 47 billion? Because let's not get away from it. If I remember rightly, Reform before the last election in 2024 said that they were going to cut, it was either 70 billion or 90 billion. Can't actually remember which one. We'll say it's 70 billion, even though Richard Tice has gone on record and said that they're going to have to reevaluate that. So is 47 billion realistic? I'm not an economist, and I'm not going to try and pretend, but there's arguments, especially for foreign aid, when we give money to China. They have a bigger economy than us, they're richer than us. India, bigger economy than us, richer than us. There's a lot of countries out there that we give aid to that have bigger economies than us and are richer than us. So from that point of view, and the way I look at it is this: if there was, say, for instance, an earthquake in France, I personally, as a taxpayer, wouldn't have a problem with sending money over to France to help them out. I generally wouldn't. But otherwise, then I would have an issue if we're just sending it out just for it to be spent, because the Conservatives, when they came into power and said, we're going to give, say, for instance, 5% of GDP. I don't actually know. I know it was a percentage, and I think, and it has been decreased over the years since Osborne said that. But there is a percentage, and I think they should get away from that and just say, right, these particular places do need our help, so let's help them out. The rest of them, fuck them off. We shouldn't be just send the money just for the sake of it. Next comes on to welfare. Now the problem is, a lot of politicians aren't going to do it. It may need to be reduced. You know, I did a video recently when I spoke about politicians and hard truths, and it's more a case of talking about reform, because I said reform tell you what you want to hear, not the reality. And at the moment, the way I look at reform, but they just tell you what you want to hear and say, oh, we'll stop the boats within 2 weeks. You know, whether that's going to be a law. I don't actually buy into that. I don't believe that they physically would be able to. There are people that believe, oh, I could do it within a day. You're talking out of your ass, to be honest. You're not going to be able to. So I see welfare one of them things that a lot of politicians, especially in the north of England, where if you talk about the north-south divide, that they wouldn't vote for it. They'd be too concerned about potentially losing their seat. So I see that as a big nuts of the problem. The other thing is cutting the civil service. Now, if you're going to have a Conservative government in, or you're going to have a Reform government come in next, you need to do something about the civil service, because there's no arguments about it. The civil service are extremely left-leaning. And they're also extremely political at the end of the day. Whether they want to argue and say, oh no, we're not, we're just there to give advice. No, you're not. It was the civil service that pretty much did their utmost to make sure the Rwanda scheme never happened and got off the ground at the end of the day. Whether it would have worked or not, it's another argument for another day. So, at the end of the day, with what Mal Stride has said, is this actual realistic things that would be possible to do? Can you actually buy into and actually physically believe that the Conservatives could save 47 billion, take it away from all these things? I can see in welfare, certainly for one thing, where they could save it. And I'm not going to be very popular with the left, probably with the right and the centre I'll be very popular with it. And that's to do with illegal immigrants, or asylum seekers as they are as soon as they're in the country, by saying if you're in a hotel or you're in some kind of camp, we're not going to give you any money. You're not going to get you about, I think it's about 40 quid a week or whatever it is, I can't remember, I ain't got the figures in front of me. All that money stops straight away. You get nothing, not a penny. You're being fed, you're being housed, and you're given all your clothes and toiletries you need. So let us know what you think in the comments below. Please do like and share as well. But for now, thanks for listening. I want to speak to you again a bit later.